Resident Evil 8 Village review, my fair review. Continuation of the story from Resident Evil 7, the game that feels more like Resident Evil 7 DLC than the actual new game in the franchise. AAA title that overstayed its welcome, dropped the ball big time, and made fans of Resident Evil rage. If this game came out in any other form or name but Resident Evil, it would be a solid game, but alas, it's not. So let's rate Resident Evil without zombies properly, as it deserves. First section is the story. I won't spoil the story, it's a classic continuation of Resident Evil 7 storyline. What I want to talk about are cutscenes and writing. Cutscenes were very good, full tension and action, while writing came out from a child. Writer of Resident Evil 8 is just straight brain dead. If story ended in mystery after Dimitrescu Castle and main village part, it would be 10 times better than it is now. Complete mess and cringe in the last 40% of the game. I felt bad while playing and listening to those stupid lines that got worse and worse with every passing minute. For what it's worth, it had great opening, amazing Dimitrescu Castle moments, and Village in its first part. They all felt really great. So, 5 out of 10 for story. Next section is game bugs and optimization. This is a weird part. Tested it with ultra settings, custom ultra settings, with and without ray tracing. The game consumed a lot of resources for only slightly better graphics with ray tracing and huge dip in frames in its return. Loading times were extremely fast. I did not encounter any major bugs and glitches on my run. Everything was working fine, no problems in performance at all. That depends on what setting you plan to play on. So 9 out of 10 for bugs and optimization. Next section is game time. It took me 17 hours to finish the game on a hardcore difficulty according to Steam. According to Resident Evil Village timer, it took me 11 hours to finish the game. I believe in Steam time here. In short, this is the game that would be like 10 times better if it was at least 2 times shorter. Replay value is there if you plan to play on a new Village of Shadows difficulty once you finish the game, but frankly, I believe that I can stand this crap story for one time only. 7 out of 10 for game time. Next section is game difficulty. I played on hardcore difficulty, the hardest one available. I was always low on ammo, low with resources, and that's all fine, I loved it. But clunky shooting mechanics because of that engine, Resident Evil engine, and weird enemy movement will cause you to miss 90% of headshots that you would hit in any other first-person shooter game. Cringe difficulty, most deaths you'll get are those from surprise chase cutscenes or invulnerable points on bosses. There is very little challenge in this game. It was made for story purpose and jump scares, but then again, it ain't scary at all. 5 out of 10 for game difficulty. Next section is maps and graphics. Souls-like map, and what I mean by it. Village in the middle, 4 main bosses on 4 different sides from the village. Epic Dimitrescu Castle, Creepy Dollhouse, Mechanic Factory, and Fish Boss Swamp. That's bloody it. Village is absolutely great. Dimitrescu Castle is gorgeous in both design and setting, and then game goes downhill. I could swallow wannabe horror part of Creepy Doll's house. I barely swallowed Fish Boss part in the swamp, and then, dear God, Factory. Factory, man. That Call of Duty action parts, and then those cheesy, funny endgame bosses. It's like I played 2 different games in the same one. 50% was epic during Village and Castle, while other 50% was a disaster that I want to forget as soon as possible. Unreal how this game dropped the ball so much after such a great start. As far as minimap goes, and the UI, it's the same as in every other Resident Evil game. Clear UI, clear world map, simple to use and navigate to find secrets and treasure. Graphics are next gen, Resident Evil engine is really good in terms of graphics. There's nothing to say here, the game just looks great. 8 out of 10 for maps and graphics. Next section is gameplay. First-person survival horror shooter that turns into the first-person Call of Duty shooter. That's the gameplay for you. Surprises, shortcuts, managing resources and ammo, puzzles, finding very stupid puzzles by the way, finding secrets, shooting monstrosities and killing funny bosses. That's what Village is all about. Again, it's fun in its first 50%, while it gets cringe and boring in its other 50%. 7 out of 10 for gameplay. Next section is leveling and itemization. You collect trinkets and money in the game. With money, you'll upgrade your weapons to deal more damage, of course, buy ammo, grenades, mines, and weapon upgrade parts. That's it, by the way. You kill chickens, fish, parrots, and pigs for health upgrades. Yes, you heard me well. And that's it. Who on earth came out with that idea? You'll find lockpicks along the way to unlock drawers and chests, and that's it. Believe it or not, that's all there is in the game to do. As far as leveling and itemization go, all there is to do in this game. No experience, there's nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. Weapon upgrades and that's it. One thing to resolve puzzle is examination of items, okay, where you rotate the item. But that part is also dumbed down so everyone can play the game without using their brain now. Absolutely disgusting part, 4 out of 10. Next section is NPCs and enemies. NPCs are connected strongly to the story, and you already know what I think about the story. Absolute disaster in writing, from main protagonist to main villain. From enemies, we got hooded undead, bald undead, big bald undead, werewolves, huge werewolves, 3 sister vampires and their big mama vampire, as well as huge fish, Robocop and his minions, and a creepy doll with her big dead baby. You heard me well. That's all there is, and it's funny as hell cause it doesn't feel like Resident Evil at all. It feels like Van Helsing and Surge stole Resident Evil name to make a game. Bosses are bullet sponges, most of them are there just for the story, and I killed 90% of them on the first try on hardcore difficulty. AI of enemies is straight brain dead, including bosses, especially at the end. All enemies will wait for you to hit them 2 or 3 times before they rush at you. If you remain on the spot, you'll die. If you move 2 steps back, you'll survive, and they will wait again for you to deliver 2 or 3 hits. That's how the game is, and there is nothing we can do about it. 5 out of 10 for NPCs and enemies. Last section is music and sound. Forgettable music, great voice acting, even if writing is bad, great sound effects. That's it in short. Music and sound, 9 out of 10. Final verdict. We got 9 sections with 59 points, and that would be 6.5 out of 10 for Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 8, call it however you like. Above mediocre AAA title, 2 games in one. One game is pretty amazing in its first 50%, and the other one shits upon in the next 50% of it. The game that overstays its welcome, full with cringe moments, especially at the end. One of the worst Resident Evil titles in the franchise. I would recommend buying this game once it drops under $10. Anything above that price is a waste of money and nerves to Resident Evil fans especially. I had fun, and I also had very bad time with this game. If you can drop the game after Dimitrescu Castle, do yourself a favor and stop there. You'll like the game 10 times more. I'll thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.